Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. Today we're continuing our campaign through Marvel Legendary. This is game number 3. And for this game, we're going to have Magneto here as our mastermind that we are contending with. And basically, he will be leading the Brotherhood of Mutants as the villain group in the game. And for the henchman group, we will be having the Savage Land Mutates. Now, the scheme for this game will be the Legacy Virus. And it tells us here that there are 8 twists in the villain deck. And the wound stack only holds 6 wounds per player. I will be playing this game solo, so there's only 6 wounds in this stack. So that's a small stack of wounds. And it tells us here that each time a twist comes out, a player must reveal a tech hero or they gain a wound. It says here, evil wins when the wound stack runs out. Now, for the heroes in this game, we're going to be having Wolverine here. Not to mention the leader of the X-Men, Cyclops. And we're going to have Storm here as well. Now, what's interesting about these 3 heroes in the game is that not a single one of them has a tech card in their group of cards, which is going to make the scheme here all the more challenging because I have no way to prevent these twists from resulting in wounds. So it's basically going to be a little bit of a race to the finish, a ticking time bomb type of scheme. As a matter of fact, some of these villains might have additional ways of causing the players to gain wounds, so that could actually speed up the process. So we're going to shuffle up all these cards and we're going to get underway. Okay, we are all nice and shuffled up and ready to go, and we're going to start by populating the headquarters here. We're going to fill it up with 5 heroes available to be recruited. So far we got some Storm cards. Here's a Wolverine, yet another Storm, and another Storm. So we've got 4 Storm cards and a Wolverine, and we're going to draw our starting hand of 6 cards. There's a Shield Agent and another Shield Agent. Shield Trooper, Shield Agent, Shield Agent. Let this last one be a Shield Agent. Yes, I love it. This is one of my favorite ways to go. A starting hand of 5 or 6 recruit is always the way to go. Okay, so we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And of course, we have to start with Juggernaut, who actually has a ambush effect, which means it's triggered as soon as he comes into the city. And it tells us each player KOs 2 heroes from their discard pile. Now, this will not affect us because it's the start of the game and we have no discard pile. Quite often, this could actually be to the player's benefit because you could choose those 2 cards, and if it's 2 weak cards are available in your discard pile, you can get rid of them. Okay, so we don't have anything as far as attack, really. We only have 1 attack icon, but we have 5 recruit. Let's see what we could do here. You know, I do not like to overspend, so I'm simply going to use 3 of them to buy this Healing Factor Wolverine card. It allows us to KO wounds in the future, which we will be accruing wounds in this game. So although we won't have any way of preventing them, at least this card helps us to KO them. So I will recruit that there. I will immediately replace that with yet another Wolverine, Frenzied Slashing. I still have 2 recruit left, which I will use to recruit a Sidekick here. I got the basic Bucky Barnes Sidekick. And that's all I could do for this turn. So we are done. We're going to continue with the next turn. We believe we will have 3 agents and 3 troopers this time. Okay. And then we will reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it is another Juggernaut. So we've got 2 Juggernaut cards. This time I do have a discard pile. So we will trigger the ambush effect, which makes me KO 2 cards from there, and I will get rid of these 2 Shield Agents. Therefore, my deck is a little bit stronger. I am going to have to perhaps recruit a couple other cards that help me recruit, since now I have fewer recruit icons in my deck. Okay, so with this 3 attack, that will not be nearly enough to fight against Juggernaut. However, I do have 3 recruit. Nothing in the lineup is 3 or less, so I'm going to use those 3 recruit to make up for those Shield Agents I just lost. And I'm going to recruit a Shield Officer. And I've got a basic Maria Hill Shield Officer. And I am done with my turn. I do not have a deck, so I will have to shuffle up my cards. And of 6 cards. And we've already got the Healing Factor card out here. Let's continue to draw. We've got 4, 5, and 6. Okay, pretty decent hand this early in the game. We're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck, and it's the Savage Land Mutates. So we will slide Juggernaut over here, and these mutates have an interesting fight effect. Whenever you fight them, when you draw a new hand of cards at the end of that current turn, you're going to draw an extra card. So it'll allow you to have a 7th card for that next turn. So that's pretty helpful. So I'm going to start by playing my Sidekick, which when I play this card, I had to place him in the bottom of the Sidekick stack over here. But he's going to allow me to draw 2 cards from my deck and add them to my hand. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, so I've got Maria Hill here and a couple of shield agents that give me 4 recruit. Now all of a sudden I can afford something in the headquarters. I could afford this Storm Lightning Bolt card. There's 3 copies of it in the headquarters. Gives me 2 attack, and it allows villains in the rooftops to actually be a little bit weaker. So I will recruit this Lightning Bolt card and put it in my discard pile. I will replace this card immediately. All right, so we've got Keen Senses. This is a pretty affordable card, perhaps in the near future. Now let's see what I can do with my attack. I've got this healing factor. I have no KO, no wounds to KO, but I do get its 2 attack. Not to mention a couple of shield troopers here. It gives me 5 attack, which is more than enough to defeat the Savage Land Mutates, which is what I will do. I will defeat these, and again, I will trigger its fight effect, which means for the upcoming turn, I'll be able to draw a starting hand of a hand of 6 cards or 7 cards as opposed to 6 cards. Okay, so we are done with this current turn. We're going to draw our new hand, and again, we're going to draw 7 cards thanks to those Savage Land Mutates. That's 4, 5. Run out of my deck here, so I'm going to have to shuffle up. Okay, I'm done shuffling. I will draw 2 more cards to make it a hand of 7. There we go. And now we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it's our first scheme twist of the game. I'm going to set that aside over there. And again, the scheme tells us that when a twist is drawn, each player must reveal a tech hero or gains a wound. And again, there are no tech heroes. Actually, you know what? There actually might be a few tech heroes in this shield officer stack. So I might actually want to go through that. But then again, the stack is pretty big, so the chances of me getting one of the few tech heroes isn't very great. But I'm going to have to draw a wound, and let's see here. I got one of these specialized wounds here, corrosive webbing. So this is a grievous wound. So it tells us here that for healing, I can KO this wound, and if I do, I gain another wound. So that way, hopefully it would be a more basic wound, but when I KO this wound, I could KO it easily, but I still have to gain another wound that may or may not be easier to KO. So I will put this in my discard pile right here. And now let's see what I'm going to do with my turn. I've got Storm here. She does make anybody on the rooftop 2 attack worth less to attack, or fewer to attack. So this is 3. Unfortunately, if you subtract 2 by or 6 by 2, it's still 4. So Juggernaut is still out of our reach. So we will not be able to defeat Juggernaut. So let's see what we could do as far as recruit. We've got a Maria Hill here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 recruit. That's a good amount here. I'm actually going to choose to get this Keen Senses card here. Costs me 2. And this triggers or combined with any other yellow type hero cards will allow me to draw a card. So we'll immediately replace this with a Cyclops Unending Energy card here. Pretty expensive. Would have been able to afford it if it would have been out, but too late for that. And now I'm going to use the last 4 I have left over. I had 6. I just used 2. I'm going to get another Lightning Bolt Storm card. Okay. We're going to replace that immediately with yet another Lightning Bolt card. Okay, so now we are done with our turn. We're going to discard these cards here, and we're going to draw a new hand of 6 cards. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, and 6. All right, we're going to reveal and play the top card, and it's another scheme twist. And yet again, I have nothing I can do to stop that, so I'm going to draw a wound. It's just a regular basic wound. If I don't recruit a hero or defeat any villains on my turn, I can KO all wounds. By the way, with these special wounds, you could still KO them with other card effects that allow you to KO wounds, but the difference is that you cannot just simply do this skip turn where you don't recruit or defeat anything to heal it. The only other alternative is what's specified in the card here, which in this case is KO this wound, but you do have to replace it with another wound. So all of these grievous wounds have different particular ways of healing themselves. So now let's see what we're going to do with our turn here. It tells me I'm going to play this here, this healing factor. You may KO a wound from your hand or your discard pile. So I will KO this wound here, which is going to be a little bit harder to heal otherwise. So I will KO this wound, and it allows me to draw a card if I do that. I do not have a deck, so I'm going to have to shuffle up again. All right, I shuffle. Now I will draw an additional card, and I've got the Keen Senses card, which I will play this card. Not only will it give me one attack, but because I played a yellow class hero prior to it, I'm going to be allowed to draw a card. And I got here a Shield Trooper, so that's additional attack here, and yet more attack, and even more so, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just shy of the 8 that I would need in order to defeat Magneto here. But it's going to be enough to defeat Juggernaut. And that's great because Juggernaut has this escape ability where each player KOs 2 heroes from their hand. So that would limit you as far as the options of cards you can KO. And it would also give you a weak turn right then and there. So I've got 2 Juggernauts. I'm going to defeat the Juggernaut in the bank and leave the Juggernaut in the rooftop available there because I do have the Storm Lightning Bolt card, which makes villains in the rooftop a little bit easier to defeat. So I will defeat Juggernaut here. He has no fight effect, but I do prevent that escape effect in the future. Okay, so we're done with attack. I only have 2 shield agents here for 2 recruit. There's nothing in the headquarters that's worth 2, so I will recruit another Psychic here, and I got Zabu here, Kazar's friendly saber-toothed tiger here, and we are done with our turn. We're going to discard these cards here, and we are going to draw a new hand of 6 cards. Okay, so let's see here. We're recruit heavy so far. Okay, it's going to be a recruiting turn. We got this pesky wound here and just 1 attack card. So we are going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck, and it is yet another scheme twist, the 3rd one of the game, which means I will be drawing my 3rd wound of the game, just a basic wound here. So I'm basically halfway to defeat. The first 2 games in the campaign were relatively easy with Red Skull as the mastermind. I gave myself an additional challenge this game, not because of Magneto in particular, but because of the combination of the scheme with the heroes that are available. So I am seeing here what I can do with my turn. I've only got 2 attack. Yes, she allows the villains in the rooftop to be weaker, but right now the villain in the rooftop is too strong. So I have 1 recruit, 2, 3, 4, and 5 recruit. And I'm going to use those 5 recruit to get this Wolverine Frenzied Slashing card, which gives me 2 attack, but also when triggered with other yellow cards, and all of Wolverine's cards are yellow here, it'll allow me to draw 2 cards. So that's a pretty good combination there. So I will recruit that card, replace it immediately. That's a really good Storm card. Spinning Cyclone here. So I am done with my turn. I will discard these cards here and draw a new hand of 6. I am done with my deck here, so I will have to shuffle. Okay, we're done shuffling. I will continue drawing to a hand of 6 cards. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. I got a wound into my hand yet again. All right, so we are going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck, and it is Mystique, who does not have any ambush or fight effects. She does have an escape effect, which is when she escapes, she becomes a scheme twist that takes effects immediately. So that would speed up the process of ending the game for us. So we really want to prevent Mystique here from escaping. She goes into the sewer over here. Okay, so now we are going to do our turn here. We only have 1 recruit, so that's irrelevant. But we have 2 attack here, 4 attack, and 5 attack. I could defeat that Mystique card. However, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I've got this these 2 Lightning Bolt cards, which are going to make the villain in the rooftop weaker. So technically, we're going to subtract 4 from him because I had 2 of these Lightning Bolt cards. So Juggernaut here is only going to be worth 2 attack. And we have 5, which means we have 3 to spare. That won't be enough to attack Mystique or anybody else. But we will defeat Juggernaut here. We'll prevent the future escape effect here. So that's good. And we'll add him to our victory pile over here. And that is all we can do with our turn. I actually had a 6th attack here. But again, that would only give me 4 remaining, which would not be enough to defeat Mystique anyways. So we are done with my turn. I'm going to discard these cards, draw a new hand of 6. Okay. And that's 5 and 6. And we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it is Sabretooth here. And Sabretooth, he has an interesting fight effect. Each player reveals an X-Men hero or gains a wound. So luckily for us, we are X-Men heavy. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I've got Maria Hill here, as well as 2 shield agents that grant me 4 recruit. I will use them to get yet another Lightning Bolt card over here. All right. And now I've got this Frenzied Slashing and 2 shield troopers, which give me 4 attack, which will not be enough to defeat either one of these villains. So I am done with my turn. I will draw a new hand of 6 cards. Okay, 5 and 6. And I will reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it is a Scheme Twist yet again, the 4th one of the game. I will have to draw a wound. And it's another Grievous Wound, Subdermal Tracker. For the healing effect, you may play a card from the villain deck. And if you do, you KO this wound. So, yes, you heal this wound, but at the same time, you advance the enemies by playing a card from the villain deck. So that's something, tough decision to make. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I have 1 shield agent, 2 shield agents, 3 shield agents, which I will use to recruit a shield officer. I need more costly and valuable recruit characters here. I've got another basic Maria Hill shield officer there. And all I have is 3 attack, but this allows me to KO a wound from my hand or discard pile. I did have a wound here, so I will KO it, and that will allow me to draw a card. And I drew Zabu here, the special sidekick here. I get to KO a card from my hand or discard pile. So I'm simply going to KO this wound over here that I just acquired. I will KO that card. And I do have to, that's all he lets me do, I do have to put him back on the bottom of the sidekick stack. And that is all I can do for this turn. I will discard these cards. I will draw a new hand of cards. However, I do not have a deck, so I'm going to have to shuffle. Okay, now I will draw back to 6 cards for my hand. And we're off to a really good start. Only X-Men characters. Okay, we got a shield trooper, an officer. Okay, this is still a pretty good hand. We are going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it's the Savage Land Mutate. So Mystique and Sabretooth here will advance. And the Savage Land Mutates will enter the sewers. And let's see what we're going to do with our turn. So I do have this Maria Hill, this shield agent here. And that gives me 3 recruit. Again, there's nothing here that's worth 3. I'm going to try to get a shield officer and hope it's one of the tech shield officers. Oh, no, unfortunately, it's a blue class. That tech would be very helpful because it would give me a chance of preventing those wounds because I've already got 4 of the 6. There's only 2 wounds left in this wound stack, and once that stack runs out, I've lost the game. Okay, so that's it for recruit. I am going to play this healing factor. I have no wounds in my hand or in my discard pile, but I will combine it with this Keen Senses, which will allow me to trigger this ability here. I will draw a new card here. And I've got another Storm Lightning Bolt. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attack, confronted with the difficult decision of defeating multiple villains in the city or fighting Magneto. And oof, that's a tough one, because remember, if Mystique here escapes, she becomes a scheme twist that takes effect immediately. I'm going to defeat Mystique. It's going to be so simple. I've got 2 of these Lightning Bolt cards. It reduces her by 4, so she's only worth 1. And then I'll still have 7 left. Oh, but then I feel like I'll be overpaying. You know what? This is a really tough decision. Really, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna defeat a Magneto here. So there's 4 tactics. I'm gonna reveal the first one here, and it's Xavier's Nemesis. It says for each X-Men hero, you rescue a bystander. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 X-Men heroes. So I'll place this Magneto tactic in my victory pile, and I'm going to rescue 4 bystanders. The first one here is the Alligator Trapper. When you rescue this bystander, you patrol the sewer. If it's empty, you get 2 recruit. Well, the sewer is not empty, so that's irrelevant. All right, we will rescue a second bystander, and it's the Radiation Scientist. When you rescue this bystander, you may KO one of your heroes or a hero from your discard pile. So I will KO one of my shield agents here, therefore making my deck even stronger. I will rescue my third bystander here, and it is the News Reporter. When you rescue this bystander, draw cards. So I'll place this in my victory pile. I will draw a new card, and it's a Shield Trooper for whatever that's worth. That gives me 1 more attack. Nothing I could do with that. And I'm going to rescue my 4th bystander, and it's just a regular plain old bystander. Okay, and that's it as far as my turn. Nothing else I can do. Let's just hope that this city doesn't fill up too quickly. I'm done with my turn. I will discard these cards. I will draw a new hand of 6. All right. There's a wound. This is looking like a pretty weak hand. I might live to regret not taking care of the city while I could. Okay, so we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck, and it's the Master Strike. And Magneto's Master Strike here, each player reveals an X-Men hero or discards down to 4 cards. And that is terrible timing, because I did not have an X-Men hero this turn. So I've got to discard down to 4. That would be 2 cards I have to get rid of. That's a pretty easy decision. Definitely getting rid of this wound. And I will discard this trooper here. And now I will do my turn. I'll carry it out. And I have no attack really. But I do have 4 recruit, which I'll use to get another Lightning Bolt card from Storm. I'm done with my turn here. Let's replace this in the headquarters with a Cyclops Unending Energy, and let's draw a new hand of 6 cards. So we've got a Lightning Bolt there. Oh, this hand's not looking much stronger. My deck has run out. I do have to shuffle. Okay, and I'll draw 1 more card to get me back to 6. Here we go. We're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck, and it is Blob of the Brotherhood. So now this city is really filling up. Everybody advances 1 space, and Blob here enters the sewer. And it tells me here that I can't even defeat Blob unless I have an X-Men hero. So that's something to consider. All right. Again, all the characters here are X-Men, so that's not going to be really too hard. Let's see. Let's play these shield agents here. That gives me 3 recruit. I'm going to play this special shield officer, Yo-Yo Rodriguez. Because I played 2 shield characters prior to her, not only does she give me 2 recruit, but I could send this hero undercover or put it on top of my deck so it could come out next turn. Now, undercover is basically just a keyword that means you could put cards from your deck into your victory pile. So it's an additional way of getting rid of cards that perhaps you want to get rid of without necessarily KOing them. So I could put this back in my deck for next turn, but I'd rather have an attack heavy hand next turn. So I'm going to leave it at that. I do have 5 recruit, which I'm going to use to get another Frenzied Slashing Wolverine card. Put that in my discard pile. And now let's see what I could do as far as attacking goes. I have 4 attack, which is enough to defeat the Blob. It is enough to defeat Savage Land Mutates. It's not enough to defeat Sabretooth. However, it will be enough to defeat Mystique because of the Lightning Bolt card that reduces any character. Oh no, Mystique's not in the rooftop anymore. She's in the streets. So I can't defeat Mystique, but I could defeat Sabretooth. You know what? That is what I'm going to do. Sabretooth's escape effect can potentially make me draw a wound. So that's still helpful. It clears up some space. Hopefully limits Mystique's chances of escaping. I never replaced this card, by the way. Let me replace that there. And I'm going to defeat Sabretooth here. His fight effect is simply each player reveals an X-Men hero or gains a wound. So this could also affect teammates if you're playing multiplayer. So we will add this actually to the victory pile here. And I am done with my turn. So we will discard these cards, draw a new hand of 6. Okay, that's looking a little bit better here. Uh-oh. Yes, thank you, thank you. Oh, my wound had to ruin things there. Okay, so now we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it is a Scheme Twist, and that is Scheme Twist number 5, folks. So I will have to draw a wound. It's just a regular basic wound here. And I will add it to my discard pile. So I am 1 wound away from winning the game. I've defeated Magneto 1 out of potential 4 times. So I still need to muster up the energy to defeat him 3 more times. So let's see what we could do here. I'm not going to be able to do anything with Recruit. I only got 1 Recruit here. But I do have this healing factor. I can KO a wound from my hand or discard pile. I will KO this wound right here. And that allows me to draw a card. So there's that. So that's a little bit more attack right there. I'm also going to play the Keen Senses card here, which because I played a yellow class hero prior to it, I'll be able to draw yet another card. I've got Storm, Lightning Bolt card here, another Storm Lightning Bolt, and another Shield Trooper. So this gives me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which will be more than enough to defeat Magneto here for the second time in the game. And we have here Bitter Captor. It says the fight effect is recruit an X-Men hero from the headquarters for free. So that's very useful. And I've got this very powerful Tidal Wave Storm card. I am absolutely going to recruit this card. This is amazing. All right, so this gives me a fighting chance, guys. Although if the next card is a Scheme Twist, I'm in big, big trouble. Okay, so we are done with the turn here. Nothing else I can do. I am going to discard these cards, draw a new card of new hand of 6 cards. It's looking pretty weak so far. That's not good. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. All right, so now we're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. If it's a Scheme Twist, we are done for. And it is another Mystique card, which is better than a Scheme Twist, but just barely. As I mentioned earlier, her escape effect is that she would turn into a Scheme Twist that takes effect immediately. So let's figure out what we're going to do here, guys, because we're definitely not going to defeat Magneto this turn. We only have 4 attack. However, we have 5 recruit. Let's see if there's anything valuable here, really. I'm simply going to get this Keen Senses card here. Replace that immediately. Okay, I'll get another healing factor for exactly 5. All right. And then we're going to use these 2, 3, 4 attack to defeat. You know what? I'm going to defeat the Savage Land Mutates because it will allow me to draw a 7th card for next turn, increasing my chances of having a powerful enough hand to defeat Magneto. So let's get these guys here, put them in the victory pile. And we are done with our turn. I have to draw a hand of 7 cards, but I'm also going to have to shuffle because I ran out of my deck. All right, now I'm going to draw a hand of 7 cards because I defeated the Savage Land Mutates on the previous turn. We're off to a good start here. Lots of attack. Okay, okay. Ooh. All right, so that's my hand of 6. We're going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And it is Blob here. So the other villains will slide over on the city spaces. Blob will enter here in the sewers. Let's see what we could do here. So recruit-wise, so far I only have 2 recruit. I'm going to hold off on recruit for now. Let's see what else I can do here. I've got this, which allows me to KO any wounds in my hand. I have none. I don't have a discard pile. But instead, I'm going to combine it with this Frenzied Slashing, which This ability will be triggered thanks to this other card. And I get to draw 2 cards. And I got a wound. Can't KO it now retroactively. But I did get this additional lightning bolt card. So now I've got a bunch of these lightning bolts. Oh, I forgot to notice I actually have additional recruit because I have Yo-Yo Rodriguez here. So that's good to know. All right, so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 attack. That will be enough to defeat Magneto for a 3rd time. I've got a chance here, guys. And we've got this tactic here, electromagnetic bubble. Tells us the fight effect. Choose one of your X-Men heroes. When you draw a new hand of cards at the end of this turn, add that hero to your hand as a 7th card. That is phenomenal. So I'm actually going to choose Wolverine's Frenzied Slashing card here. And I'm going to just place this on the top of my deck to serve as a reminder that I will draw this as a 7th card, or keep it as a 7th card. Now, I will play this Shield Officer here, not to mention Yo-Yo Rodriguez. And I do have the option, after generating her recruit and adding it to my pool, I have the option of sending her undercover because I played 2 shield characters before her. So, or put it on the top of my hand. At this point, I need attack as much as possible. I'm actually going to send her undercover. But in the meantime, so she goes to my victory pile. That's what undercover means. I do have 4 recruit. I don't know. I can't afford... Well, this is a good card, actually. It only costs 3. So I'm going to get this Cyclops Optic Blast card here. And I will add it to my discard pile here. And I am done with my turn. So I'm going to draw a hand of cards. New hand of cards. Set this aside as my 7th card. So that's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Oh, goodness. And 5. And 6. It's not looking good so far, folks. This is not looking good. I'm going to reveal and play the top card of the villain deck. And if it is a Scheme Twist, this is over. All right, and it is Sabretooth. And Sabretooth, oh goodness, we are in a catch-22. Sabretooth enters the city. The city is completely full. So we're in a predicament, guys, because even if the next card is not a Scheme Twist, if it's another villain, these villains are going to be pushed out and Mystique will escape and she'll turn into a Scheme Twist. So I got to hope to either clear some space up or that this card here is a bystander. That's another option. A bystander would not make the cards move along. Let's see what we could do here. So recruit-wise, I do have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I could use these 6 to get this really powerful, unending energy Cyclops card, and I will replace it immediately. And now let's see what we're going to do here. I'm going to play this Keen Senses card, and then I'm going to follow it up with this Frenzied Slashing, and this allows this to trigger, which will allow me to draw 2 cards, and I need to hope for some really good cards. Okay, that's not a bad start. I got Storm's Lightning Bolt and a Shield Trooper. Okay, so this gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attack. It does make a villain in the rooftop 2 cheaper, so I could make her cost 3. I still would not have enough to beat a second villain, but you know what? It clears some space. I'm going to clear her first because she's closer to escaping. This Mystique still has 1 more card before her, so I will defeat this Mystique and at least prevent myself from losing that way. So we are done with our turn. We are going to draw a new hand of 6 cards, and I'm feeling really nervous here. A new hand of 6 cards, and that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, and that's 6. Okay, so there we go. This is a pretty good hand. We should be able to defeat Magneto at least 1 time, and there's only 1 more time. So all we have to do is basically survive. So as long as this card is not a Scheme Twist, we are good to go. I'm going to reveal and play the top card, and it is a Scheme Twist, and I have no tech heroes to defend against it. I will have to draw this final wound card, and because the wound stack is empty, Evil has won the game. Magneto is victorious. I have lost for the first time in the campaign. First time I'm playing without against a villain or a mastermind other than Red Skull, and I've lost. The combination of the Legacy Virus with no tech heroes to thwart it is perhaps a little bit too much for me. I'm going to try this again with at least one tech hero available in the hero deck. It was a challenge, but I'm going to go through this campaign and try to defeat all the villains, all the masterminds, and all the schemes found in it. And that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here when Harriman Board Games. Feel free to comment down below. Share your disappointment with me, what you think I could have done better. And that's it. We'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.